Haneda airport staff stop a man to ask his business. He calmly replies he's just returning home. Stunned by his travels, the worker learns the army sent him worldwide. He's a British soldier, and after verification, he gets his passport back. The clerk greets Garrett Tiger, and the hero thanks him back. Still nervous at the border, the hero recalls his military past. He isn't surprised when the officer starts questioning him. Landing in Japan, he grabs a tea, a habit from his British Army days at 16. He sets the cup down, sensing eyes on him. He hit the airport cafe to flush out his tail, scanning every face on the way. Only one made it this far. The hero recognizes him from his SIS days, and he's certain of one thing. This man is out for blood. The British SAS are the world's top special forces, forged by brutal selection and elite training. Years of secret military service forced him to mask his face to protect his missions. A colleague's Instagram post leaked his face in a window reflection. Getting him fired from the SAS Time T was up. Who is he? Everyone wants him dead for info or a bounty, but the real mystery is why he's trying to end it all himself. Garrett isn't sure if this is his only tale. They hunt in packs, tailing their prey. One's likely watching from the crowd or a camera, but he's done waiting. He makes his move. Loudly greeting the crowd, the hero admits he's a Tokyo newbie. He asks for photo spots, gets some local tips, and heads out. He scanned every lookout. Nobody gear in hand, only the final hideout remains. He is too lonely to lose the hero. He's a total rookie, so he'll definitely chase him down immediately. Garrett lured him to the airport as ruins. No bystanders allowed. Now he has got his target. He hides in the bathroom. The stranger rushes, terrified of losing him, a feeling he knows all too well. Still alert, he blinds the stranger with a flashlight and grabs a stick-like weapon, actually just a rolled-up magazine. CCQ is the ultimate close-quarters style, turning a simple flashlight into a weapon that instantly blinds any enemy. SAS training taught him to turn anything into a weapon. He swings a magazine, but the stranger dodges and sheds his cloak. The hero unmasks his pursuer and freezes. It's no human, but a monster with a bird's head. The creature hurls the hero so hard he smashes straight through a toilet stall wall. Hero felt the surge. How did Raven Mask get this insane power? He refuses to kill, but he'll soon regret that mercy. Hero lunges, strikes the solar plexus, and flings the enemy forward. He slammed into the floor. He coughs. It's over. Garrett tries to yank off his mask, but it's stuck. A shadow looms behind him, and he whips around. He figured it was the creature's partner. Still confused, he scanned every detail. How'd he get here? The guy he just beat suddenly stood up and cast a mysterious spell. A weapon flashes into Asorda's hand. He had no clue how this happened, but he knew he was in deep trouble. Garrett squares off against the strangers. Nowhere left to run. He's completely in their power. A glowing circle flares under his feet. The strangers are floored, but the hero's completely clueless. Patterns swarm the circle. Something foul is brewing. The hero figures it's an earthquake. Suddenly she's falling. Is the building collapsing? He's in a space rift, surrounded by blinding light. He's hurtling through something at insane speeds. Is he even asleep? He splashes into the sewer, flashlight on. He scans the area. He spots a mossy column etched with mysterious symbols. This definitely isn't part of the sewer. These ruins hide a secret. Debris blocks the path, but the lack of traps is suspicious. Then he notices his own poncho. Dropped from his pack, more gear must be close. Suddenly, he spots a man who looks hurt. A girl lay in the watery debris. She asks the lizard to carry him too, and MC finally realizes this isn't just a fight, it's a total war against demons. Garrett checks her wounds, starting with her head to rule out brain damage. Luckily, it's just a minor bump. Pupils react, no brain damage, just a concussion. He carefully drags her out to avoid fractures, racing against hypothermia. She's pale and purple. She's freezing. He needs to warm her up fast, then he spots her clothes. Her clothes were bizarre. That fabric didn't come from any store. Everything's off. Are these ancient ruins or just earthquake debris? He spots zero wires or plastic. She jolts awake, stunned to find her clothes unbuttoned. Realizing she misunderstood, he explained her clothes were already down when he found her. But he couldn't catch her mumbled reply. He's clueless, and she can't even fight back. You have to figure her out. He spammed greetings in every language to keep her guessing. She mentions Earth, asking if he's a god from her world. He stops her, demanding to know what she means. Her eyes sparkle as she rambles about him being an earthling and a marabito. He's clueless. why she's so hyped, but she tells him to wait and pulls out a feather. She tickles his nose, ordering him to stay still. He sneezes, a bird rockets from his nose, snags a feather, and vanishes into the sky. Slime from the man-ass nose coats the girl. Garrett demands to know what she did and what bird that is. She reveals it's a Babylonian bird. Confused by the Babylonian bird, the man soon realizes they can communicate. The girl explains the truth: these birds nest in human heads, stripping earthlings of their ability to understand anyone. She never expected to use her great-grandmother's heirloom feather. The man is still fuming over his ruined hair, more baffled than he's been in years. Garrett asks the girl if she heard that strange sound. A horned, saber-wielding creature lunges at them. He dodges and stomps the weapon hand. How did this deer-like beast jump so high? They clash. The girl screams, "Demon, a man-eating monster." These horned warriors leap massive heights. She warns him as the demon lunges, swinging its sword and narrowly missing. The hero lunges forward, seizing the deer by the antler. He launched skyward. Eni snaps the creature's neck, dropping it with a thud. Garrett eyes the demon, its ripped muscles and grotesque deer head. Suddenly, the girl screams dangers right behind her. Another warrior arrives, deer head, spear ready. He lunged, snatched the spears, and launched a counterattack. Her reflexes are insane. She's a combat pro. This is trouble. He wants her to escape, but the path is blocked and her weapon is lost underwater. What's the move? Could she even act? If this was the right place, the traveler's old sword was hidden nearby. The deer charges again, spear in hand, striking with renewed force. He knew its hit-and-run tactics. The girl called the alien, but he ordered her to hide. She agreed, but wanted to exploit the opening first. The boy gripped the flintlock. No time to wonder where it came from. He just needed a weapon. This silicon pistol is a beast. Charge it up, and it's ready to fire instantly. He's never held one, yet it feels strangely familiar. The hero fires, landing a perfect headshot. The beast took flight, leaving the girl stunned by how cool it was. Mizuho heard the newcomers have powers. Wide awake late at night, she meets a man named Taiga. She asks for a second name, but Tego's shocked Earth doesn't have those. Realizing he's not home, he asks where he is, and Mizuho confirms his suspicion. Locals call this world the land of a million labyrinths. Labyrinths cover the world, packed with deadly traps, monsters, and merciless ancient magic. The service was so trash he escaped into a nightmare. I'd love to believe that. Taiga asked for a safe spot. To knows one but forgot where, though her home is right above them. She hands him bullets and he asks about her ruined home. She blames a dungeon storm, instantly grabbing the hero's interest. Before the hero can even ask, the dungeon storm erupts. The ceiling cracks. Tiger sees the collapse and bolts for the girl. He bundled up tight, shutting himself off. Musa blushed at the sudden move. Suddenly, the ceiling crashes down. He checks on her. She thanks him for the rescue and apologizes for being rude earlier. The tiger tells her to move while the monster watches via camera. Another tremor hits, but Mizuko begs for one more minute. She pulls out her glasses, admitting she's blind without them. Taiga finally comes into focus, but his look is a total letdown. She says he's nothing like the stories. The old man just shrugs. It's time to hit the road. Taiga's house collapsed, leaving her homeless. She shrugged it off despite the brutal shaking, while the man asked how an underground storm differs from a real earthquake. Mizuko explains these storms are actually earthquakes. Even after driving off the Babel bird, her mysterious words spark curiosity, so she grabs a steel pen and starts recording everything on a slate. Her hands shake. He finally notices, draping his coat over her shoulders. Heat escapes through the head and neck, making this her best option. She thanks him, then reveals she can feel her legs. He is shaken. 2 degrees lower means hypothermia. Mizuko was freezing, surviving only on a surge of adrenaline. He carries her as she apologizes for being a burden, but Taiga brushes it off and asks where she came from. She lives by the 5th pillar, the Roman Empire's power source long ago. The massive United States of Rome ruled, likely named after her. Back then, she roamed with. Taiga asks what she's up to, and she reveals she's a storyteller preserving ancient legends. Her voice beams with passion, so he asks her to explain the local landmarks. She knows nothing about what is behind the wall or how to reach it. Families are split by the barrier, but her info reveals a shocking truth. These million labyrinths are actually one massive machine. The hero reads the wind, Mizuko knows the exit is closed. They enter a massive hall, jaws hitting the floor. Everything's in ruins, and she has no clue how it happened. Tiger asks if it had to be this way. She says no, stunned by the open space. The entire dungeon was gone, erased from the world. She spots a statue in the square, as center, the king himself. Half the area is gone. Mizuko prays the team is safe, but Taiga knows they have to climb. Do they have any strength left? It's their only choice. He sets her down, asks if she can walk, and tells her they need to find the others. They navigate a narrow construction ledge. The girl notes the height, but Taiga tells her to stay calm and move slowly. Taiga guided Mizuko through every trial, making her blush whenever they held hands. She sees him as a fearless hero who saves strangers without a second thought. Taiga admits he's lost. Without her, he'd be dead. Now they're both in each other's debt. Mizuko smiles, telling him to just ask if he's confused. Mizuko's a good girl. She didn't let fear paralyze her. But suddenly, the hero spots something. They stepped out to find a glowing forest inside the room, but the girl instantly spotted the wreckage. It's a star, Mizuko explains. Real stars once lit the sky, but now endless mazes hide everything. Our hero steps forward, ready to share his own star story. In a million labyrinths, there's no outside. Everything exists inside the rooms. Without the collapse, this space stays sealed, hiding a mysterious world behind the wall. Endless passages link these rooms into a confusing maze. No wonder they call this place a labyrinth. They finally reach the statue. They climb, but everything starts falling apart again. The man shielded the girl from harm. Road collapses. A voice lures them upstairs. Mizuko knew the voice, Podasara-sana. He recognized her instantly, asking how she felt. Podasara announces Mizuko's back. She apologizes for the worry and bolts for the rope, impressing Tiger with her effort. They help the hero up. He feels awkward being saved, but Putasara-nasa reveals Mizuko actually saved everyone. Hotel owner free snacks. Podasada's business is history. Our hero introduces himself, explaining he lacks a surname because he's from a distant land. He spotted people with ears and tails and rubbed his eyes in shock. The brawler asked what was wrong, but he blamed the beastly visions on his trauma. Mizuko asks about the king and the leaders, plunging the room into a grim silence until Podasara finally speaks up. He reveals the truth. The court is destroyed. The king and the creators vanished in the storm. All eyes turn to the Lord's statue as the crowd bows in grief and weeps. Rome's fifth pillar has fallen, leaving the girl paralyzed and lost. Panic spread. With no food and monsters looming, they were dead meat. But Potasara calmed the crowd, rallying them to unite and survive. The hero saw the land as creators, as absolute legends. Mizuko explains these dungeon slayers are building a new kingdom, making them a beacon of hope for everyone. Many failed the trial and lost everyone. As they turned on each other, the ground suddenly shook. Storms strike again, and panic erupts. Taiga yells for everyone to stay low and cover their heads as the world collapses. The plane tilts and she grips tight. Is it leveling out? Not a chance. The cliff quakes, the platform steadies, and the ground shifts, carving right through the labyrinth. Is this world for real? Chaos and misery rule supreme? One look at the beast, and Tiger knew he was in a different world. He calls it quits and surrenders. He sees the truth. This is real life in a million mazes. Monsters swarm, attacking everyone. He's still dazed until he spots two familiar faces. Two familiar strangers stood before him. He realized they belonged to this world too. They dragged him along, but why? What's their goal? He screams, demanding answers. Silence. Suddenly, the ground beneath him collapses. Our hero has no clue who he really is. The avalanche stops dead. Everyone's stunned as rescue possible. The tiger orders them to find the nearby survivors first. He hits the building's edge and realizes he's in deep trouble. He summons Potessa, trusted more than the hero. The old man asks what happened. The hero orders an immediate evacuation, but the old man mutters in protest. Taiga wonders why he resents the outsider. It's help, but the elder snaps back. This hero saved them all. Podasara likes the hero, offering nameless Taiga a future drink. But Taiga chooses tea over booze. The tiger finally realizes these two know the secret to returning to the old world. Everyone's back together and safe. Taiga sparks a fire while Grandpa hunts for a sweater. But seeing Mizuko shiver, the hero knows this cold is a deadly warning. Tiger tells Podasar to start a fire while he scavenges the square for kindling. Podasar warns it's too dangerous, the place could collapse any second. He eyes the statue. This is the only way out, and they can let anyone beat them to it. He swept through the rooms, grabbing the essentials. This place was a cramped cell, not a home, a bucket for a toilet, and a kitchen shared by everyone. A voice asks if anyone's there. It's coming from right behind that door. Trembling behind the door, the girl asks what happened. She spots the boy, warns him it's dangerous, and begs to be let out. Tiger says it's no prison. The girl's crime, just a petty theft. She asks who he is, but he's a total stranger with a deadly look, clearly used to gambling with lives. Sensing no threat, the tiger stayed close and asked for the keys. She pointed to the wall on his right. No wall on the right. Suddenly, the hero spots a humanoid creature. A sharp-eared demon scout. If it's here, others are close. The man remembers these things are cannibals. He can tell his family, take him out. Hero lands a perfect shot, dropping the demon instantly. His enemy is lurking nearby. Reloading takes 30 seconds too slow. Chasing is useless, but the girl asks, will he still go after him? He can to reach it. Suddenly, the building tilts and collapses. She realizes the key is lost in the rubble. Hero pulls a pin from his shoe and announces he's cracking the lock. She asks if he can pick locks. He learned it at work. She realized he wasn't just some guy and pegged him as a thief, but he refused to be called a villain. Hero snaps the lock and they bolt. While fleeing, the girl wonders who that uncle really is. He tosses her a bag. She agrees to haul the loot but demands a cut, and the hero accepts. She's thrilled and the deal is set, but then the entire building collapses. Rescued, but a storm rages in the dark. A mysterious chasm has opened up, and the tiger warns her, watch out, the ground is fragile. Surprised by her strange reaction, she asks who he is. He introduces himself and asks for her name. Troubled Trotty is a pathetic thief Taiga can't ignore. He wonders if she's bringing backup, but she's got a chilling reminder: demons need to eat, and demon hordes are a nightmare. Tricksters and giants form a lethal army, but bolt fast and they wouldn't even notice you were gone. He says her people are hiding from danger, and now they're trapped. The hero invites her along, but she refuses after they threw her in jail. She only wants the part Taiga promised. She finds a bag of wood and glass junk. Triti calls it trash, but then a voice calls out to the hero. Potasara checks on Take. A roar erupts, and even though the ground just collapsed, Takes finds from. He asks if anyone's nearby. The hero says he's just gathering firewood, then asks about the campfire. The old man panicked. He'd underestimated him. Usually they'd call a sorcerer just to light a fire. Used to a soft life and hidden tech, the hero barked his plan and called Trotty for backup while the girl hid in the ruins. Everyone's stunned. She's alive and free. Taiga claims she brought her here and demands he hand her over now. Outrage sparked, but some called it the right move. No issues. He just had to protect her now. He asks if she's trustworthy. Trotty agrees she's got nowhere else to go. She suggests a flint fire, but the heroes need a spot first. They drop into an ancient temple in the lowlands. The man says the terrain blocks the wind, and the sun-soaked stones will keep them warm. Their extra gear becomes shared fuel. The hero preps the site, sparks a tuft of hair, and everything erupts into flame. The tiger warns the fire builds from heat. Avoid massive or explosive fuel. Putasar gets the burn. The hero needs more fuel and asks who can supply the goods. Firewood needs airflow, but low fuel means restricting it. Trotty gathered every scrap people offered. Potasara finds a fat boar for lard to lube instruments and make wood burn better. Just like Razan Plus, the village girls wear wigs. Fire lit, job done. Time to help Mizuko, but a sudden call warns she's developing strange, unexplained symptoms. She's unresponsive. The boy tries to wake her, but she's ice cold, the final stage of hypothermia. Trady's intrigued. While setting a blanket by the fire, the girl Taiga recognizes her as the thief who robbed Mizuko's house. The girl told the men to move aside. Taiga, about to leave, asked Trotty to undress Mizuko and lie with her under the blanket to warm her, and she promised to help. She starts stripping, but the hero stops her in this freezing cold. She'll die. She undressed, shielding herself with her clothes, as Trotty told her to just get some sleep. She's already out cold. Taigan thinks they look just like kids. Trotty's not so bad. MC hears she's a thief, but Mizuko wasn't the target. She got caught before she could even swipe anything. He calls the crew back and has the girl hand out the blankets. She tells him to rest, but he's got one last job. Taiga rallied the group to lay out the plan, starting with the water supply. He sends them to the river for water, but warns boil it first, or you are drinking poison. Next, duty rotation. With monsters lurking, he orders everyone to take turns guarding the exit. A man asks how they all survive an attack with only knives. Hero says if they can handle it, kill the fire and hide. Pick a spot now to move fast. The man heads out to inspect the guard post, leaving Podasar on watch. Podasar offers the hero large soup, but he refuses the sick and children eat first. Strick's crew agreed. The man stepped aside, leaving Sayak to handle Mizuko. Mizuko snaps awake, completely lost. Saya wakes up to Trotty sleeping nearby, grateful for the warmth. She asks how long she's been out and learns it's been a long time. Mizuko stands up, oblivious to her nudity. Sayakon explains her clothes are drying, and a blushing Mizuko asks what happened. Suspecting another robbery, she strikes Trady. Sayakon tries to explain the misunderstanding, but she's silenced as a steel pen is hurled at the thief. They searched everywhere. This is the only way, Taiga reminds him. Everyone's counting on you. Rostobi explains his old security job so the hero can rest. Tiger's done all he can. Now they just hope nothing goes wrong. Mizuho spots the hero. He asks if she can stand. She nods and hands him his cup. The hero catches a sweet scent. The girl explains it's tea, a gift of thanks from everyone. The old man demands tea, and while greedy villagers loot everything, Sia weaves through the chaos to find him a cup. It smelled like nuts and tasted nothing like tea, but it was surprisingly delicious. Soup's ready. Tiger cleans his rifle beside Mizuku, warning her that after the first shot, time's up. She asks if something really happened. Hero weighs his words and pulls Mizuko aside for a private talk. The girl realizes a spy leaked their location, and the hero admits he missed one. He's down to his last 4 shots. If the demons swarm now, he's finished. Everyone needs help, so he wanted to disturb them. The girl snaps back. Then why even bring it up? She realized the truth without a king to stop the chaos. The people trapped in this nightmare labyrinth will inevitably turn on each other. They need brave pioneers to conquer the labyrinth. Suddenly, Trotty interrupts, warning them their soup is getting cold. The girl screams at the massive room. Mizuko asks why she's terrified, and she admits the darkness hid its true scale. Raised in cramped rooms since birth, these people are deathly afraid of open spaces. Mizuko was fearless. Suddenly, she had a wild idea. She dragged Trady into the light, but she resisted fiercely. She says she's better, and the hero's thrilled. Mizuko offers soup to cheer her up. Trady asks if she's being rude, but she snaps back. What? You're the one who attacked me. Orphans cry on the roadside, proving these people need warriors to conquer new land. Even Potasara, who lost his family to war, greets him with a smile. Despite their pain, the village welcomes their hero. He's seen this suffering from the Middle East to Africa and wanted to abandon those in fear. But in this new world, how can he save them? The girl thanks Rostobison with soup, but the ground suddenly quakes. An intruder is coming. He sends her to warn Mr. Taizi while he stays to defend the residents. The girl alerts Taizi something's approaching. A giant demon bursts from the columns, crushing Rostobi in one hit. Panic erupts. The hero draws his pistol. The demon is here to feed. He orders a lockdown. Trotty alerts the guards. Mizuko protects the kids. And Potasara and Sayakane lead the evacuation. Hiding only delays the inevitable. The heroes face a grim choice: abandon the weak to survive, or fight the giant to save everyone. But can normal weapons even scratch a monster like this? Hero fires. A clean headshot drops him before he can even react. The bullet only grazed him. Trotty rushes to help the hero, but while reloading, he spots the scout who led the boss right to them. Guns are useless, and he's done with sacrifices. The hero asks the girl for help, and sensing a plan, she's ready to team up. She summons the demon and orders him to follow. He lunges and misses as she nimbly leaps aside. The plan was simple: lure the monster to the cliff while she dodged its attacks. Laughing, she dared the monster to catch her. Taiga wants credit for that distraction. The plan: strike while the demon's guard is down. Hit the weak spot. First try. Pack extra powder and load a double bullet. This Sengoku flintlock technique hits like a shotgun. It strains the rifle but packs insane destructive power. The abyss loomed. Trotty was cornered. She glanced back at the boy. The giant lunges to grab her. This is her only shot. He makes his move. No turning back now. Iran marched straight for his goal. This goal fuels his massive frame. It's a Lilo Tendin, the tiger strikes. 2 bullets rip through skin and muscle, shredding his tense Achilles tendon. Trotty cheers. The hero did it. Now they just wait for the monster to vanish into the abyss. The monster gripped the column tight. He snatches Trotty and the MC screams her name. The demon slams the hero back. The enemy has the trophy, now what? The girl screams for him to run. The monster won. Stop now. She begs him to flee with the others as the monster devours her. Taiga grabs the dagger. Could it pierce his body or hit his weak spot? He had no answers. No choice left. The hero plunges his blade straight into the monster's face. He buried the blade to the hilt. He never leaves his friends behind, landing a massive blow on the enemy. Blood sprays from the monster's neck. Its grip fails, and Trotty breaks free. He starts smashing everything. Trotty's stunned. The monster can still move after losing that much blood. The hero shuts that down. His legs shot. He can just stand, and the demon plummets off the cliff. Trotty's glad he fell. Victory is theirs. She finally realizes Taiga is way more than meets the eye. Crowds pour out shouting for Taiga and Trotty. Stunned, they actually took down the giant. Podosara pities Rustobi, knowing they'd be prey without them. Mizuko credits Teizi's wits and guts for their survival. Only Taiga can lead them now. The girl approached Taiga with a wild offer to become their king. People turned to him, convinced he was their only hope. He told them to stop joking. Mizuko admits they're persistent, but begs him to save them. As a conquering king, Trotty agrees, crowning Taiga for his expert leadership. The hero claims his military past makes him unfit to rule, but Trotty says things can get any worse. Seeing his sharp glare, she tells him to stop looking so scary. Taiga knows they're serious, but crowning a stranger is way too much. Trotty rules if Taiga takes the throne. Mizuko backs her. She's no fighter, but she owns the labyrinth. Both swear to support him. He remembers Mizuko's words. Conquerors are rays of hope, dying for the weak. These two are all in. If he has the power to save someone, he's stepping up. The hero nods, he's in. He's the king's proxy until someone worthier takes over. As the king's new governor, he must name the state. His mind is blank, but he digs deep for something familiar and settles on Camp Bravo. Sensing suspicion, the hero waits for the question on Group Alpha. Mizuho polls the team, and they agree, adding great makes the name sound legendary. Mizuko declares the Camp Bravo kingdom and welcomes King Taiga's envoy. The ex-soldier is now a queen in a new world. He hates this and doesn't want power, but he's stuck at the estate. He's one complicated guy. The first roundtable kicks off at Camp Bravo, but two problems strike instantly. Firewood's out, food's gone, and 29 people are starving. No rescue is coming. They survive on their own, or they die. Mizuho backs Taiga, forcing a trip to La Prinsu. She IDs Taiga as a Marabito, but he's completely clueless. Trotty explains to get resources. You must clear the maze's endless rooms. Each one is a different world. Dense forests, oceans full of fish, rare ores, and even starlit farmland. Every room held unique resources. But as a stranger, he knew the real mysteries were just beginning. He revealed he was a Marabito, but no one flinched. Trotty then reminded them this square was their only refuge. The royal palace, their new home. No throne in sight, but Mizuho declares it their kingdom starts here. Trotty sticks to the plan. Cliffs, walls, and a river seal three sides, making the north the only way into the labyrinth. The giant demon entered through this passage. Now it's their only way into the labyrinth. The hero realizes the conquerors were just paving a path. It all clicks. Now he must pick the team ready to dive into the labyrinth's depths. Taiga warns of giant demons and deer-headed beasts, refusing to bring the crew. Trotty gets the risk, but insists they need extra hands for the gear. It's dangerous, but they have no choice. The hero offers to lead, but the girls shut him down. He's clueless in this maze. They pick an experienced guide instead, and while the hero trusts their logic, he's still on edge. Mizuko picks the extraction crew while Taiga's right hand, Trotty, gears them up. They're guessing the hero's identity when he randomly calls him Ninja. This world is bizarre. He tells the girls he has one last task before they leave, and Mizuko asks for Hero orders everyone down, warning that bad form causes injury. Learn the moves before jumping, he demands. Trotty calls him a devil coach while Mizuho hits her limit. She's a rookie, Tiger says they're hitting the labyrinth, and he can't get hurt. Trotty vows to watch Mizuho's back, but that only makes Ms. Recalling his army days, the hero realizes he forgot to ask about returning to Earth. Mizuho might have the answers, so he calls her. Taiga asks if other Marabito exist, but no one's surprised he's alone. The girl says his ignorance of the labyrinth proves it. Few have met Marabito in person, but she feels he's right there. They grew up on mere legends, told by the local storyteller to every kid here. Ancient legends tell of wealth and queens, but the labyrinth's victims are the ultimate tragedy. She laughs it off. They're staying. He asks about returning home, and while she confirms the legends, she stays tight-lipped. Mizuko rushes to wake Trotty. He calls the exile powerful, but she notes it's a rare legend, the only story where a hero finds peace among a million labyrinths. Mizuko's backing him, and she's no liar. Marabito's stories don't do happy endings. These two are the only leads left. Stay sharp, the future. A dagger, a knife, an axe, and one bullet. Can he get everyone home alive? Hiro asks if they ready. Trotty says the giant demon has finished. Taiga's fresh kill reeks of blood, scaring every other monster into hiding. Trotty spots a carving on the post, and Mizuko leans in for a closer look. The map's worn and blurry. There's a temple, but no elevator. Maybe this column is the lift. Tiger doesn't care. Trotty says Mizuko's a better scientist than a narrator. Then one of them turns to the man. Potacera tells Trotty everyone's counting on him. As the kingdom's first ever campaign, he's the one who must deliver the final speech before they march. Heroes diving into a deadly dungeon for supplies. Everyone prays for safety. He's stunned by their focus. They truly trust him. Even as a royal figurehead, he got the VIP treatment, but he had to watch his mouth. He's a soldier on a secret mission with one motto to live by. Risk everything to crush fear and get strong. It's the only way to survive. He vows to protect the people of Camp Bravo from every threat. The crowd hailed the kingdom and the king's representative. The hero turned to his 6 companions, their fear plain to see. Mizuko calms the group, reminding them they have the legendary demon slayer, Taiga. Some worry they're over-reliant, but Trudy orders them to move out, hoping for awe. Time to move. A world-conquering enemy awaits. Taiga puts her faith in the girls, and they nod, ready for battle. The hero expected stone walls, but this labyrinth feels wrong. Who built this place? Suddenly, the leader halts the squad. Trotty spots something strange, and a messenger rushes ahead. Everyone trusts Tro. Hero asks for a report. The girl spots someone ahead near a trail of waste. Leaving 6 behind, the hero and Mizuko move out to track the source. They reach Trotty, who signals for silence and points to droppings. Mizuko recognizes bat remains, but Trotty urges them to look closer. Droppings everywhere, but 0 mice. Just like Earth, bat waste here is crawling with deadly disease. Mizuko warns the traces are toxic, so Taiga orders everyone to mask up. Tread joins his scout mission, leaving a frustrated Mizuko behind. She's a fighter, but fearing a total wipeout, the hero tells her, protect the 6 behind us. Trotty lets Misoa lead the charge to gauge her skills from the sidelines, but the girl just sighs. Giant bats. He's relieved they're just like the ones back on Earth. Better loosen your connection to the Earth. Sucks for him. They're silent and lightning fast. This is way harder than he expected. Treddy reveals the path to victory, bring them down. Now he just needs to figure out how. Conquering new lands starts with slaying giant bats. Spotting the mouse waiting above, the girl seizes the initiative and strikes first. Leaping from the pillars, Trotty stalks the mouse, dagger ready. She slits the first mouse's throat, leaving the second for Tiger. The second mouse is on it, but he's lost sight. His flashlight is blinding Trotty. Then suddenly he hears it stir. She strikes from behind, but he dodges. He's already cracked their secret. These monsters use echolocation, tracking prey with silent sound waves like a living radar. Echolocation is silent, but their cries are deafening. Focus, and you'll feel the vibrations pierce your ears. Misha crawls toward the man as he readies his strike. He rips the beast's belly wide open. She praises his work, glad her advice helped, but he claims he won before she even hit the ground, baffled by her confidence. Deva's lucky. It wasn't a pack now, dinner served. He recalls stories of bat meat from Papua New Guinea. It's edible if roasted, but tastes bizarre. Mizuko greets them sarcastically, but Trotty sees she's still bitter. He tells her to talk later and look closer. Mizuko approaches the mouse corpse, asking what it is. It's rotting from a poison needle. He grills her for info, and she mentions needle-throwing monsters, some toxic, all alive. She stops to think. Trotty says it's pointless. It's inedible, too dangerous, and beyond saving. A mouse stirs, Tiger orders the group forward. The girl follows the 6 boys down the only road, but they scout it anyway. Exiting north, they pivot east. Hero spots. Mizuho S star, this world S version of a compass. More research means a real map until a sudden scream rings out. Hero recognizes the voice instantly, and the girl confirms it. That's Kenro. Trot clings to the ledge, holding Conro over a spike-filled abyss, but her grip is starting to slip. Taiga catches her just in time, warning that the lid's closing as she apologizes. She missed it at first, and he agreed it was hard to spot. The hero marveled at the seamless construction, but why was it here? He had to find out. She orders them back and hits the button. The ground collapses and the hero leaves his mark. He's baffled. Who could have designed a trap this complex? Mizuko reveals the labyrinth wasn't always here. After its catastrophe, the entire world became a maze of endless corridors. They say the labyrinth is still growing. Every room and corridor was born from the same catastrophe. Trotty warns magic traps are lethal, but humanoid monsters are constantly shifting the maze walls. Traps are psychological warfare meant to control your moves. To survive, you have to read the enemy's intent, but here, that's impossible. They find a room with a tree, and Trotty grabs firewood. Mizuko spots a blood-sucking Priya and warns the team, but the slow monster is no real threat. Chop the branches and haul them to the palace. Food is still left, but Trotty spots something. The bloodthirsty Puri bagged a toothy boar, the perfect delicacy to celebrate their new kingdom. Mizuho's shocked Su boar lost to Pieria. Was he injured? The hero wonders if trees grow without light, but she's never heard of it until a tree snaps its eyes open. Mizuho yells, "It's a Trent, not a tree," and orders everyone back. The monster attacks. The hero yells to retreat, but Poire blocked the exit. Trotty warns they in a trance's territory as the man screams for the girl to dodge. She obeyed, even without a clue why. She trips. The hero screams her name, but she's up instantly, insisting she's fine. Trent grabbed her leg. Sensing danger, she whipped out her dagger. She breaks loose, and the hero curses in frustration. Trent strikes, forcing the man to prioritize survival over everything else. They have to escape now. Whistling branches fly nonstop, making it impossible to get close. The beast lunges, teeth bared. Taiga scans the threat, a sturdy, bark-armored monster with lethal branches. Things look grim. It's rooted and immobile, but Mizuho's still in range. The hero tries to bait the beast, but it ignores him. He hisses in rage. He yells for her to jump, and she narrowly dodges. Taiga checks if she's okay. But despite being closer, the monster lunges for her again. Mizuko says she's fine, but she's paralyzed. The bloodsucker Priya is looming right behind her. Tiger knows this world is wild, but he's sure there's a weak point. Trotty's gone, and Poria's overwhelmed. A rescue is suicide. With everyone captured, he's alone against Mizuko. Eyes and mouths mean internal organs. Target those weak spots. The skin is too tough, so get close to strike. Taiga's about to fire when the monster suddenly rips its roots from the earth. The hero's stunned as Mizuko spots the creature moving. He's rounding the corner with no blind spots to exploit. He's hunting in pitch black. How? He ignored the scream. Is he deaf? Scenting his prey, he scanned with his many eyes and lunged. Eyes adjusted to the dark, he tracked his prey through every flicker and shadow. He's blind, but why target Mizuko? Does it hunt the scent of girls? Then it hits him. The monster is avoiding him. He tried to escape the demonic giant's blood, but the stench wouldn't wash off. With his sharp nose, the fresh scent was pure torture. Only one road leads here from the palace. The demon was definitely here, but there was no sign of a struggle. Trent is no match for the giant, so he targeted Mizuko instead. Time to trick him. The hero screams at Mizuho to catch. Taiga spots a flashlight on the ground and yells for the girl to aim it his way. She clicks it on, blasting him with a blinding beam. Trent saw a massive shadow and instantly panicked. He lunged. The fabricous scent confirmed his nightmare, and he was ready to risk everything to end the threat. Taiga closes in, the shadow vanishes, and victory is certain. He lunges at Trent's eye and drives his weapon home. He strikes again, and the hero has no clue what is happening. He dodged every blow, treating the tree like a joke. He took the hits and refused to quit. But why would a hero attack him? A strike almost lands. He reacts, but he's too drained to dodge. The attacks stop. Before the hero can react, an axe slams into his eye. It's Trotty, apologizing for the delay. Taiga called her name, remembering her promise to watch her back. She apologized for failing. Mizuko shouts, "Not to worry, she can fight too," instantly striking Trent right in the eye. Taiga distracted Trent, letting Mizuko save everyone. The monster's weak, and the girls are teaming up to finish it. Muzu Hosuon strikes the eye again, declaring they have no right to lose. Trotty leaps for the eye, shouting that everyone's fate is on the line. She slashes Trent's eye and orders Tiger to finish him. He saw Mizuho as a weak loner, but she's actually a powerhouse ready to fight back. He's right, only risk-takers win. The hero closes in on the beast. He strikes the eye, sending liquid flying. Trent sways and collapses. Tiger reports the target is down, clean kill. 6 are freed as Poeria retreats. They fought her off, but the hero is stunned. Mizuko is way younger than he expected. He thanked her for the help. She smiled, "I'm used to conquering new lands." The hero finally realizes true courage means fighting for his people as they conquer new lands. Mizuko says grab the dust collector and trendsetter branches and head back. Treddy's hyped, but is it actually good? Mizuko's vivid description of the meat finally wins the MC over. Research resumes at the passage, no bullets needed, but the unknown looms. As they gear up, a sudden idea stops everyone cold, and our hero turns to listen. The beast spots the crowd. A lion-bodied, goblin-headed demon confronts the heroes. Mizuko calls him a man to the core, but a filthy, treacherous monster. The creature demands the human nest, and the tiger realizes that here, humans are bottom-tier prey. Looming over the crowd, the lion-maned beast declared its lair was nearby. Everyone's on edge. Mizuko IDs the beast as a manticore, warning that this monster is dangerously smart. The hero scowls as the monsters keep coming. He's out of strength and out of options, until a monster laughs, telling them not to be afraid. He'll spare them for a sacrifice. A young girl, Mizuko, protests, but the monster shuts her down instantly. Towering over everyone, he warns them to stay in line. He could end them all right now. Trapped and cornered, he faces the monster and offers a deal, leaving the girls in total shock. He warned that invaders were nothing new and surrender meant peace, but the crowd stared down the monster with zero fear. If they die, he's responsible. They can't afford losses, so he asked for his take. Decor kept laughing. She'd already noticed too many people, not enough weapons. The monster shrieks for total obedience, summoning a swarm of bats that dive straight for the crowd. Screams erupt, but the MC stays cool, face in hand as monsters swarm overhead. One beast rasps, "Time to learn who's boss." Zero hesitation. He charges the monsters, shredding everyone in his path and slicing them down one by one. Civilians come first. He orders a tactical retreat, stay together, help each other, and Dante panic. Panicked crowds flee as the girls battle the monsters. Trotty finally finds the swarm-s nest, but 2 more bats are already diving in. The girls crush every foe, reporting another target down. Back to back. Trudy praises their teamwork, and Mizugu smiles. Something's off. The giant bats are obeying the manticore. He confronts the beast after a brutal struggle with the demon. He knows even the biggest monsters can fall. Tiger targets the manticore with his final bullet, firing a kill shot right between its eyes to end it. A bat suddenly blocks his vision. Annoyed, he sidesteps the obstacle. He spots needles in the monster's neck, the exact same ones from those cave bats. Others have it too. He realizes the monster obeys whoever holds its name, but a sudden scream shatters his focus. A giant bat snatches Conroe by the shoulders. Zhuo yells to shoot it down, but the MC refuses. He can risk hitting the girl. The manticore retreats into the shadows, calling this their final meal. No rush to feast. They find the nest. She tells him to wait, then leads the girl and the bats forward. Trotty screams they can let him. Nizuko tries to stop her, but she won to budge. Taga vows to save her. They just found her, and they aren't to losing her now. Mizuko agrees only one road leads to the palace. The MC confirms it, but warns against rushing in. The enemy has traps waiting. He sensed the poison needles. She nodded. She'd felt this for years. Now they finally obeyed her. The man orders a retreat to gather resources and build a shelter together. Everyone agrees, and Tiger tells the girls they're heading out to save Conroe with their full support. Trekking the dark dungeon, he lights the way and warns they've got a serious problem. They hit a room with multiple paths. The man senses clues, and Mizuki agrees it's time to search. Trotty's crew hunts the beast on gut instinct, but she's worried our hero only has 1 bullet left. Taiga agrees he can risk long-range shots. Just then, Mizuko finds something big. Looking closer, the arch was gone. Something ripped it out. The beast is massive. She confirmed this is exactly where the monster emerged. She's sure the lair is just ahead. Trotty's ready to move, but the man repeats his warning, don't rush. The monster isn't killing them yet, so they have to move fast. It's a trap, the beast is already waiting. Trotty suggests an ambush, but they claim sneaking up for a backstab is impossible. She confirms, but giant bats aren't his only servant. If a house cat is hard to handle, imagine a giant monster with a human face. He demands a plan, lure him into that old trap. Trotty's ready for a one-hit kill, but Mizuho wonders how they'll actually bait it. They try reasoning, but this monster won't budge. He's too smart for tricks and sees humans as nothing but trash. They've still got a shot, with Plan B ready if this fails. They sneak through cramped halls and reach the monster's lair. MC enters and asks if he's been waiting. Raising a hand, the guy apologizes for lying and asks if he's mad. The manticore admits she lured them here and asks if he's ready to die. He just hopes for her mercy. She calls him weird for not fearing her. He denies it, hands raised. Then she asks if he likes the place. The tiger didn't understand. She boasted about erasing this kingdom, slaying its ruler, and drowning the people in despair, then laughed like it was all a sick joke. Parents killed their kids and friends betrayed each other to survive. Now she'll crush his kingdom to relive that thrill. The monster lured them to its lair. Talk was dead. It was time for Plan B. Trotty tosses MC a gun as he vows to show her true despair. The manticore just smirks. She knew their hideout all along. She attacks again, unleashing giant bats and screaming for all humans to disappear. Taiga orders the attack. Mizuho warns everyone not to look back as she unleashes a blinding burst of magic. Bats plummeted, shrieking. A blinding flash forced the manticore's eyes shut, leaving it stunned and confused. Trotty mocks the monster's gullibility, warning him not to underestimate humans. Taigo charges, ordering everyone to ignore the bats and blast the manticore. The girls charge, but the monster bristles its tail into dark needles and screams, launching a swift attack. They push forward, but the MC screams, "Get down," as the monstrous tail fires a lethal volley of spikes at everyone. Mizuho screams and dives, narrowly dodging a barrage of poison needles. The man screams they're right to bow, but Trotty's already closing in, dagger drawn and ready to strike. The monster readied its tail for another strike, warning everyone to stay back. She effortlessly dodges every strike. Smirking, she says she hasn't even thought about it. It's not her job. Hero slips behind the manticore, but the beast senses him instantly and strikes. He barely dodges. He taunts her, asking if she thinks he's empty, but he's down to his final bullet and can't waste it. Out of poison spikes, the beast lunges, jaws wide and claws bared. She screamed she'd destroy him, but the hero lunged instantly, weapon raised. Aiming for the eyes, he times his shot and blasts the monster's face, sending her flying. The girls watched in shock, wondering if the beast was dead. Taiga's shot hit the eye, but the monster just blinked and grinned, staring them down. She smashes the floor beside him, debris flying everywhere. He looks up. She dodged. He took her left eye, ready to strike her blind side, but she screams a warning as dark spines erupt from her tail. Peg's stunned by the enemy's fast recovery and yells for the girls to dodge. They obey instantly, scattering into different rooms. The monster roars no escape. She'll tear them to pieces, her screams shaking the world with pure despair. Bats sweep through ruined halls hunting survivors, scouring every room and missing nothing. Taiga eyed the circling bats. Their numbers had thinned, but they were still a major threat. He trusted the girls to survive. Right now, he had a manticore to kill. The room reeks like a stable. He's got booze for Molotovs, but gunpowder would make it perfect. This is the best he'll find, likely scraps from the local massacre. Suddenly, he spots a figure ahead. It's Conra. He scans the area, slips inside, and whispers her name. He asks if she's okay, but she warns him to stay back. He's confused until a strange substance starts oozing from the ceiling. He felt submerged, but it wasn't water. The manticore sensed the slime's presence and grinned. She finally found them. Taiga and Conra are drowning inside the monster. It's digesting them alive. If they don't escape now, they're dead. Heavy thuds shook the ground as a manticore's shadow loomed. Imisi knew they were in deep trouble. An axe splits the core, shattering the slug and breaking the trap. Mizuho stands before them, arriving just in time to save them. Pointing to a dark gap in the ruins, she sternly orders them inside immediately. The monster peeks in to find the girl gone. Furious at his useless slugs, he warns that death won to be quick. Taiga thanks her for the tip, flush the life-draining slimes with water, and smash their cores. Suddenly, the wall shifts and a hand reaches out. Trat beamed from the doorway, relieved everyone was safe, while Mizuko stood stunned. She'd found the secret passage without even realizing it. Let's go with a breeze through the wall cracks confirmed her suspicion. This kingdom built secret escape routes for emergencies. Wait, the original says. The girl replied that she understood. Classic thief smarts. She's sure secret tunnels here lead straight out of the kingdom. Slugs infested the room behind her. They're here too. He pauses, needing to check something. Trotty scans the warehouse as Taiga eyes the strange loot, picking up an item to ask about a mysterious flower-like powder. Stunned, the girls assume flowers are rare in his world, but he corrects them they're common. He just didn't know they could be created. They claim wheat grows under starlight, but nothing survives the dark. Taiga finds the body carrying nothing but flour. The man was slaughtered while scavenging, and with his death, the kingdom fell. Secret passages are useless if forgotten. These people are barely clinging to life, too weak to even eat. C's had enough, but the girls are completely clueless. He won't let his people suffer. She shows the girls a bag, claiming it can kill the beast. They creep through secret halls, eyes on the manticore bags in hand. They're ready to push deeper. They burst into the hall, face to face with the beast, drop the bags and bolt. Seeing the smoke, the monster assumes they have run out of tricks. She laughs, claiming tougher fights await, and cheap tricks want to work on her. Standing in the smoke, she knew exactly why they targeted her and ignored the others. Was this really their best plan to kill him? They're naively waiting to trap her outside the smoke, but even Poidu thinks she talks too much. Taiga asks if he's scared, admitting she's just calming her nerves. The monster warns him to stay alert, then laughs, boasting she's far superior. They can only beg for mercy now. With the girls safe, MC promises to show her something legendary. He watched intently. A gift from me, he said as his gun emerged through the smoke. Dust around the monster detonates, a mineral blast rings out, and the beast arches in agony. He bolts, knowing a confined blast is a death sentence, as the shockwave swallows everything instantly. He sprints for his life, the wave is closing in, and he needs cover now. Flames engulf him, but a layer of slime saves his life. He crushes his core, shakes off the residue, and vows never to fail again. The roof caves in as the building crumbles. The monster recognizes the blast. It's technology from another world. She claims he's an outsider from another world, laughing that no human can defeat her. He steps closer and whispers one question. He asks about the bird-headed man with the glowing staff and the fanged one hidden in fog, shocking the manticore. Taiga's hunting the people who lured him into this labyrinth, and she knows exactly who they are. Kiris lives above the dungeon, Deep Van in the depths. Hearing their names, our MC feels a wave of unease. The beast claims he's their target, proving he's unique, but why are they all hunting him at once? Another roof caves in, crushing the beast. Taiga demands answers. She says they'll sacrifice everything to kill each other. She tries to speak, but the stones bury her alive, leaving the MC frozen in shock, cursing his helplessness. Everything falls apart. Massive beams crash down, and the girls scream for the MC. They're stuck debating the blast power when Trotty demands a chase. Suddenly, the MC steps out of a secret passage. He was there the whole time. The girls were thrilled he was back. He told them he believed in them and headed for the palace. Crowds roared as they emerged. They hailed the king, certain their country would finally thrive. The girl promises a special welcome. The man shouts for a banquet, and everyone celebrates their first successful mission. The group huddles to strategize, and Mizuko notices Tiger's drink. He's brewing tree roots, which she figures is just some special tea. Labyrinth tea is priceless, and everyone thinks it's in that warehouse. It's still a mystery, but the place is packed with flour. They must have massive field. MC can believe a massive country just vanished, but Trotty tells the hero to stop moping and stand tall. Then they reveal a surprise gift. She shows him the necklace, keeping it since no one else would. He smiles. Thieves never change, Mizuko notes. It looks like a royal relic. Taiga thought they'd escaped unscathed, stocked up, and finally scored intel on the group. A brutal test, but everyone survived. Now where's the tea? Surrounded by friends, she asks about the tea. He smiles. It tastes like pure victory. Masuko adjusts her glasses and grins, confirming they survived their first expedition yesterday. They tanked a bat army, battled a massive entity, and crushed the manticore. Finally, they take the first step toward building the great kingdom of Bravo. Her people admire her unbreakable spirit as she calls to review their hard-earned reward. They looted ant tree bark, vines, boar tusks, giant bat skins, and poisonous manticore quills. Taiga can't carry everything at once. He considers returning for the rest, but Trotty thinks it's a bad idea. Scavengers infest the labyrinth, devouring monster corpses until nothing is left. Mizuko says, list the loot first, then they'll decide how to use it together. MC says not to worry as the girl sorts branches and barks orders, with Trotty noting she clearly loves paperwork. Tiger asks for the plan, and the girl says wise management will finally restore their kingdom. Smiling, she reclaimed her title as minister, and the crowd knew she truly earned it. Tiger grabs a fruit. Curious Mizuko calls it an ant fruit, and Trotty's stunned he's actually eating it. She warns the fruit grows on man-eating monsters. Suspecting poison, he slices it open. She watched as he tested the fetus with a knife for pain or reactions, concluding everything was normal. Wait, 15 minutes, then put it in your mouth. 5 more, bite down. If it's bitter, but grants power, suck the juice and spit the pulp. Wait, 8 hours. If you're fine, eat half and wait 8 more. Still good. Eat more and monitor for 24 hours. Trotty ignores the details. Taiga says the fruit is edible or jam at worst. Trotty turns to the minister. What's the next move? They enter a room of massive columns. While the group wonders what it is, the girl calls it a warehouse. She flashes the necklace to the crowd, leaving Trotty baffled why she'd reveal her find. Mizuho says deeper exploration means more treasure, and he'll definitely need a guard. She wants Trotty to guard the royal treasures. Stunned and blushing, Trotty can't believe she's being trusted with such a huge role. She's a pro-thief who could have easily snatched the loot and vanished. But the minister insists she's the kingdom's best, the only one for the job, leaving her totally. Thinking she was being played, she still agreed Trotty was perfect. With nowhere to run, Muzo handed her the mission, leaving her overjoyed. She lunged for a hug, but the minister dodged, sending her crashing down. Mizugo warned her to stay back, leaving Trotty completely baffled. Sobbing on the ground, she's asked about the missing manticore needles. She kept them, claiming they were too dangerous. Another manticore fight will be brutal, so he's bringing them into the fray. With the handkerchief back, they were battle-ready. Trotty's stunned the guy's a total poison needle ninja. Taiga questions his ninja path, but the girls claim he's just like them. Stunned, he returns to sorting resources and asks the minister for his next move. She explains her plan to fix the kingdom, showing her passion. She keeps teasing him as a ninja until the hero gets annoyed and tells her to stop. Huddled by the fire, the residents agree they need more rope for the build. Using anthill branches, they built dryers to preserve the boar, while the boy wondered if a blanket would trap the smoke better. She explains the smoke lets them cook insect meat, leaving the man stunned by their simple, genius inventions. He's called over. He wants a cooking fireplace, but has no clue how to build it. Trotty notes this improves the flavor, while Taiga recalls a trick from a survival pro. I asked what he learned. He grinned. It's a Yukon stove. Seeing is believing, so we're starting from scratch. First up, gathering stones and clay. They gather materials, mix the clay, circle the stones, and leave a food gap. Stack heavy rocks higher up so the base doesn't collapse. They mold a clay base and top it with a smooth stone to trap the heat. Mizuko asks if the pot's stable. He says it's a ready-to-go oven, and the chef is hyped. Potasala finally had every ingredient he needed. The tigress submitted to his every whim. Choking back tears, he thought losing his shop was the end. But hope is back. He'll do anything to reopen and serve his savior, the best food forever. MC still wasn't used to the gratitude Trotty happily asked for fruit, but the men just stared back with nervous dread. Taiga's taking advice to build his kingdom. Soon he'll ask the people what they want. Trotty wants a second furnace for food and water, but the man refuses. One is enough. He's building a forge for her. Watching the flow, they knew it'd be tough, but the water made this spot perfect. Taiga saw them hesitating and asked what was up. The furnace needs fuel, but coal is scarce. The man asks if magic can power it otherwise. Forging weapons is impossible. He says it's possible, use a star's heat like monsters, or harness the labyrinth's power. Masuko links this power to labyrinth disasters, where its forces can rewrite the properties of anything. Most tools are gone, making the forge nearly impossible to fix. The minister sighs heavily. She says the prison is impossible, staring Trotty down until he's absolutely livid. She calms her down, promising to fix everything by rubbing an anvil between her palms until it melts as the crowd watches in shock. Trotty snaps, demanding answers. But the MC calms her, vowing they'll find the anvil together. Before leaving, she reminds them forging is her job. No rush, just call if they need more. Suddenly, a man arrives to report his task is finished. Tiger asks about the rope. No sweat, they've soaked, cut grapevines to make the ultimate bind. Tiger realizes it's just like Earth and confirms they built it themselves. MC praises his work, leaving the shocked minister wondering what his mission even was. He reveals a custom plate rope alarm built to keep intruders away. Treddy reveals scouts brought the giant demon. They killed it in the labyrinth, narrowly avoiding a total disaster. He warns the scouts might wander into their turf. Imagine the carnage if they re-ambushed. Mizuko says it depends on the army's size, but hopes that giant demon was the leader. Hiega admires her optimism. Trotty asks about the Entish Hills. The minister reveals the kingdom owns it all. Every inch now belongs to the king. Tiger realized the Labyrinth Kingdom was a massive network of rooms. Reaching the entrance, the girls asked for their next move. Mizuko reports they own zero property outside the kingdom, and the MC asks for details. Suggests it's a farm or forge. Forges need water, so they usually start as rooms before expanding into separate buildings. Taiga agreed to expand the kingdom. They'd repurpose every room a plan the minister fully backed. Anthill's vast lands would be perfect for farming, instantly reminding him of his old home. Mizuko backed the plan to secure food, but Trotty doubted the giant bats in the cave were even useful. Linked to the hill, they belonged to the kingdom. Everyone agreed, but isn't she worried about the fallout? They reach the stalactite mountain as the girl points out massive piles of bat droppings. They can leave, but the cave is still a mess. She asks if there's a way to fix it, and the man stops to think. The minister demands a fix. Since the hill farm needs water piped through the caves, they start gathering manure. Treddy's stunned, he explains. Earth uses manure to enrich soil and wants to try it here, betting its phosphoric acid is a powerful fertilizer. Saltpeter makes gunpowder. Let us see if it works in this world too. He asks if they know bat guano makes gunpowder, and Trotty's heard that before. Pre-war manure prices were insane, and Mizuko was even ordered to steal it, leaving her completely stunned. Stunned by the girl's behavior, she protests the humiliation since she already refused, but the man says he'll make great fertilizer. Trotty wants to sell, but the minister blocks her over foreign policy. Her counter, turn it into gunpowder. To conquer the labyrinth, they needed gear, but Mizuho's plan was anything but normal. Trotty asks how to make gunpowder, so the MC explains they need saltpeter from evaporated manure, warning him it's going to smell like hell. Mizuko realizes the hill is massive and suggests clearing the moss for farmland, but the man is clueless. He doesn't even know what a farm is. The Entu was gone. Those vultures hauled the massive corpse to their nest overnight, but the vines had vanished. She lights them, claiming they're hanging calm, but the MC asks if they should come down. Mizuho says they're safe if they're careful. They'll grow by eating bugs and small animals, which is how they'll produce even more rope. If things go south, they'll retreat to the manticore's lair. They agree to build a fence for safety, but Trotty realizes they've forgotten something huge. Can they grow anything without a star? Everyone agrees. He offers a plan, and the minister demands details. Manticore lair is packed with hidden passages. The girls take the hint and plan to sweep the area later. He asks about finding seeds or rice in the maze, but the girls warn other methods are much tougher. You used to trade with kingdoms or buy from merchants, but the underground storm changed everything. They're stuck in flying blind, but the merchants are suffering too after the storm wiped out every trade route. Tiger replayed the scene. They were cut off from the world. He senses no danger. They're free to keep growing, and the girls promise they'll find a way. Standing in the vast clearing, he envisioned their future kingdom, a true beacon of hope. Workers master a new field with hoses as MC flashes back to Brunei, standing in shades and looking up. Stranded in a dense forest, his guide is gone. He's completely alone, surrounded by nothing but trees. Training's over. He hated this jungle, but he couldn't fall behind. Now he'd find out why he felt so defenseless. An orangutan appears, staring him down. It grunts softly as they lock eyes. The girls snap him out of his daze, asking why he's staring. He explains he was just remembering a helpful orangutan. Confused, the girls blame his exhaustion. Days pass, but he's still obsessed with how fragile life really is. They kept pressing for answers, so he admitted he was planning their survival, then asked if they realized how little they knew about this labyrinth. Stranded in the jungle with nothing, you're dead, it's a death trap, and long-term survival requires knowing exactly where it's safe. They must stop wandering the maze before someone vanishes. He's sure they'll survive, and Trotty notes they're on a massive winning streak. Ibanya shared decades of jungle secrets. He asked the girls if they can handle mobile threats or a manticore. They clearly need a mentor. The minister gets the point. Trotty warns knowing these monsters is the only way to stop the suffering. MC plays it safe. With zero medicine, even a tiny scratch is a death sentence. Trotty cries out, but she's fine, her wooden hoe just snapped. They've got to be more careful. The minister offers to clean her wound, but she refuses until the tiger warns it'll only get worse. Microbes invade through tiny scratches. No one knows what is out there, so assume unknown diseases are waiting to strike. They're down to water and rags for wounds. The consequences are terrifying. At dawn, the minister of attire heads to wash up while the others sleep, but a suspicious man lurks behind a column. She nears the water, recalling Taiga's warning about infections. Suddenly, she feels eyes on her. Mizuko catches Trotty dusting her hands and tells her it's too early to be up. But when Trotty plays dumb, Mizuko's gaze turns bone-chilling. Mizuko hid behind the screen, curious why the girl peeked, then started undressing for a bath. Flushed from the cold, she knew the water was icy, but a nearby fire offered warmth and a man sleeping right beside it. He laughs off the mistake, clueless. It was the women's bath meet Latin, a traveling merchant from 5 stars. He asks for the ruler, but Muzukos reveals Taiga is in charge. The man confirms it, leaving Trotty stunned by his sudden appearance. Latin warns the MC isn't that simple, so the minister grills him on trade. He's a merchant trading with entire kingdoms, trekking the labyrinth to flip surplus goods and supply what nations lack. Taiga asks about wholesale, but the man only sells small batches. He shows off his stock, and Taiga asks about the beast on his leash. It's obviously a goldfish. The tiger's seen one before, but why is it floating in midair? He sheepishly admitted they had nothing, but the other just laughed. It was already obvious. The merchants never heard of this kingdom. It appeared during a freak labyrinth storm that nearly killed him and wiped out his client. He reminds them they're still broke, but asks one last question as the merchant digs through his bag. He rejects the loan, fearing the kingdom want to survive the night. Taiga counters with a new offer. This elite ex-soldier is hunting for a master and offers a 50 cut, leaving the girls stunned. The merchant's stunned, the ruler is turning. Mercenary, Mizuko snaps, it's no joke. He's ditching them for cash when they need him most. She refuses to let him go. She banned the ruler from leaving Taiga stalled, reminding her he still needs a mentor. In a new land, he'll find rulers or veteran mercs to teach him labyrinth survival. He offers to hire guards until he leaves, but she shuts him down instantly. That's not what she meant, and the merchant laughs, totally caught off guard. He's seen many rulers, but never one like this. The offer is tempting, but trust is everything. He can't help, only apologize. The girl sighs in relief, but Antigus tries to end it. The merchant stops him with a proposal. He sells land and people, exporting labor abroad. But with business tanking, he's down to his last asset information. Back then, rumors were life maps, legends, and magic samples. Every scrap bought them more time. Traders live on info to find profit, so he asked them for any lead. Miso's from an ancient line of storytellers. He asks for a legend, she agrees, and he promises to repay her later. The deal's a success, but Trotty's proposal flopped. Taiga agrees. The girl's livid. She got his goal. She'd done the same, but Mizuko was different. She had her own story. A man leaves his wife to find a city labyrinth. Rushing home, a mysterious wall suddenly blocks his path. He's trapped with no way back to his beloved. It's a common, mutable labyrinth. She doesn't know his old world, but here, separation is final. Once you re-split, it's forever. Mizuko left her friends days ago. She'll stop him regardless of his choice, and the MC knew it. They spot the minister and merchant shaking hands. So Trotty approaches clever but nervous. She begs him to stay, fearing things will get boring without him. The merchant's thrilled with the deal, promising more goods if they keep it secret, but our hero has one final request. He'd take the gun for an instant. Trade Layton proposes their first deal. Weaponless and low on gear, the tiger realizes he needs one more thing. The merchant asks what is next, and he just asks for tea. The merchant confirms he's leaving, thanks the town for their welcome, and heads out with a massive profit. Mizuho says their first meeting was a nightmare. Stranded late at night with nowhere to stay, he woke up to a piercing scream. Taiga wondered how he snuck in undetected with only one road to the palace. He just smiled and agreed. He points to the gap, claiming he came through it. MC is stunned. He didn't know it was a path, but the merchant insists he's wrong. Perched on the fish, he says he just flew over. The tigress is stunned by his flight. The girls wish they'd thought of it first, and the men laugh. Merchants can handle these chasms. This is a job for mad heroes. One look down and most people lose their minds. Trady eventually got used to the fear, but Miss Sue stayed suspicious, a major problem for the MC. He thought the breach was safe, but he was wrong. The kingdom was wide open. The merchant led us to their new kingdom, but the tiger didn't buy his story. The merchant then asked as a ruler, "Aren't you worried about an attack?" He checks the wall, uncovering a secret kingdom hidden in plain sight. He peeks out and gets pelted by bolts and stones. They clearly don't care what's happening on the other side. Also, our MC is stone cold. The merchant got lucky, but since he's already shown his hand, he's rolling with it. He offered Taiga a weapon, confused why he'd pick this over a cheaper crossbow. He's had this partner for 20 years. Latin notices the wear and asks for the story. The merchant reveals a cloth-wrapped rifle that's never been resold. Forged by a master for a king, it's a perfect twin to the ruler's own weapon. The ruler rejected it, leaving the item useless with the merchant. If he answers, Latin hands it to the MC. Compared to Mizuho's gear, this was nothing. He scoffed, calling it just a rifle. The spiral barrel and bullet spins skyrocket range and accuracy, but it needs special ammo that's a nightmare to load. The merchant's stunned. Talking like an old friend, he hands over the promised rifle and ammo. He thanks him, asking if he's really just handing over the black market goods. Latin disagrees, offering to sell his superior intel instead before saying goodbye and flying off. Taiga's stunned. The fish is actually flying. He spins to the minister, instantly apologizing for his rudeness. She says it's fine and tells him not to worry. Trady laughs, teasing her for being the anxious one, and immediately catches a light slap. Mizuko was nervous during the trade. Trady asks about the necklace, but Mizuko says it's worthless for a swap. The seeds arrive in days armed and ready. They scout tomorrow. A man rushes in, screaming. They're under attack and the entire farm is in danger. They charge the hill to a nightmare monsters loading people onto carts pulled by giant boars. Caged victims beg for help as the monsters leer. Suddenly, the hero recognizes the scout demon and he's brought reinforcements. The minister spots the demon slavers' chariot. They arm up fast as the monsters charge. MC baits the enemies, ordering the girls to guard the carts. This is only part of the group, but their goal is obvious. They only live to devour. Taiga levels his bayonet and drops the beast with one precise strike. The next monster lunges with a massive axe. It strikes, packing lethal power. It glares at him with a predatory grin. Attackers snatch screaming victims, but Trady nails one with a direct dagger strike. She used the terrain to weave through enemies, striking until only she remained. He dodges the giant's devastating axe swing, his mind fixated on the elbow's medial epicondyle of the humerus. Direct hits cause total agony. He nails the mark, twisting the monster's snout in pain. He doesn't stop, smashing the enemy's face to end the fight. After reflecting on the struggle, he scans for his next target. He spots the captive's cart heading for the tunnel. Trady leaps onto a wagon and yells for him to jump on. They're giving chase. Masoko tends the wounded, telling the hero she's got this. He agrees, leaping onto the cart to save the rest. He leaves the palace defense and merchandise gear to her. She nods, wishing them luck as the carriage speeds off. Deep in the tunnel, a cart pulls ahead. As theirs suddenly gets heavy, Trady realizes they're turning it into a battering ram. Tiger warns the speed is lethal, and he'll have to hold her tight, but she laughs. They have to finish before reaching their relative. The cart slams forward. As wheels align, he leaps into the cage, weapon ready, but the enemy has already waited. MC tosses him off the cart. The driver yanks the reins, slamming the carts together as they barrel toward a stone wall. The monster growls and laughs, but Trady leaps onto her cart and sinks a dagger into its head. He caused their suffering, and now he's trapped. One clean strike ends his story forever. She yells to stop the cart. He tells the crowd they're free and they weep with joy. But suddenly, the hero sees the wall crumbling. They floor the cart to escape the collapsing ceiling. The girl expects a cave-in, but the man spots the real danger. Someone's aiming a weapon at them. Another monster man's a loaded ballista, ready to fire. Taiga screams for everyone to take cover before the next attack hits. The monster fires again, tagging a boar and making it stagger. The girl fights to keep the cart moving. She can afford to stop for even a second. Accurate fire pins them down. MC says he's got this, then asks her to crack the lock. She says he can do it, but how will he reach an enemy that far away? She didn't know his world, but that weak weapon meant zero hope in this maze, and the monster was already lunging for the kill. Dodging bullets, he realizes labyrinth monsters fear open spaces, forcing them to adapt over time. He rolls to a stop. Target is 300 meters out. This rifle's got this. Eyes locked, Taiga and the beast froze, sizing each other up as that familiar sniper confidence returned. They face off. The beast looms on the sky bridge while our hero sits below. Both fire at once. An arrow zips toward Taiga, but a precise shot blasts the monster back as he meets the attack without flinching. He didn't flinch as the arrow whizzed by. Seeing the target wide open, he kept his eyes locked until the end. He nails the shot, and the crowd calls him a demon, but the noise gave them away. Enemies are closing in. They have to move now. Armed monsters assemble as leaders watch from a high cart. A gong rings, and the horde charges. Everyone argued, was it a monster ambush, or were they already in the lair? The enemy sent fast units as bait, but the heroes saw the trap and crushed them. He thought Ballista was with the main squad, but she sets him straight. They're invading the kingdom. They gotta rush back and dig in. He doubts demons can strategize, but she warns they might have a mastermind leader. The giant's the leader, demons only follow strength, and he's the perfect fit. He's organized. Those carts prove they're dead serious, even without a real enemy, until a sudden gong blast grabs their attention. Monsters close in. The tiger spots the enemy vanguard. The man asks for a plan. This cart is too slow to escape. MC's only goal is saving them. He'll stall while they retreat, but Trotty screams, it's pure madness. She doubted he could handle it alone, but he promised to find a way. She refused to leave, staying by his side as his partner. He barked a direct order, get out now! She grit her teeth and cursed. She dives into the cart, shouting her love for foreigners to reassure him, but Taiga can't reload before the monster locks on. Her words echo as an arrow slams into the dirt. He won. To budge, he's not dying here. The monster fires again. He dives behind the boar as the cart closes in, realizing the steel bolt is too heavy to wield. He rips the weapon free and hurls it at the boar's legs, instantly killing their speed. Boars collide, the cart rockets forward and shatters. Masked by the dust, our hero readies a surprise strike. He strikes from the fog, leaving the blinded monsters swinging wildly at every sound as their rage boils over. Taiga didn't slow down. He circled the beast, landing precise strikes before it could react. Monster down, he bolted for the palace, easily outrunning the weighed-down soldiers. Someone's coming, a strange creature with a weird aura. Is this the leader she mentioned? This is his shot. Take him out and end the war. Suddenly, a deer-headed beast with massive horns and twin blades drops from the ceiling. They square off, tracking every move. The monster blocks his path again. He aims for a one-shot kill while a black-suited figure watches from above. She hits the village and locals swarm her, desperate to know if the demon attack was real and if the captives are safe. Mizuko warns the demon gang's size is unknown, urging everyone to arm up for the next raid, though some think it's pointless. They had no plan. They were just food. Running was useless. There's no escape. You either starve or get eaten. She begs for calm, but the crowd ignores her. Suddenly, Trotty exits the tunnel and the minister is relieved she's safe. She wonders why he stayed, but the girl explains he bought them time to escape. Now they safe. Mizuko panics without the MC, but Trotty takes command. She's heading back to him, so she'll shoulder the burden, rallying the crew to haul the cage off the cart. The minister refused to weaken their forces, citing her duty as a creator to protect the people. But Trotty was livid. This meant abandoning her husband. Misako stayed to protect his only home. She saw the crowd's terror, but knew they needed that fear to survive. Forget anxiety, real demons are here. Stand together, win the fight, and save the kingdom. He blasts the enemy while parrying every strike, making Taiga realize he's a total beast. He parries the bayonet with dual swords and counters instantly. The man realizes one slip-up means death, but time is running out. The monster misses Nick, rolls aside, snaps back up, and readies for the next attack. He parries the blade with a rifle shot, but the beast's second weapon gashes his shoulder as it leaps into the air. Surrounded by armed monsters, the hero knows he's doomed, so he decides to go down swinging and take every last one with him. The suited creature watched closely as magic flared in its hand, but a sudden twist snapped its focus. He had to thin the herd for the greater good, and honestly, he just wanted some tea. Suddenly, something above catches his eye. A girl lands, clearing the monsters with one wave. She smiles and offers the struggling boy a hand. He asks who she is. She's a traveling knight called Winged Astoria. A shot rings out and she rushes to help. He thanks her, knowing she's his only way out. Sword raised, she warns the demons to run or die, daring them to attack all at once as she carves through the horde without hesitation. A lone enemy lunges, but she parries his spear with ease, scanning the field for the next strike. The monsters keep swarming, but he holds his ground, shredding the pack while zeroing in on the deer head. Taigo flanks the beast and strikes its legs. It collapses, screaming, giving him the perfect opening to shatter its skull. They trade compliments, but the break is short-spiked. Boars are closing in fast. She warns this wizard is on another level as the monster atop the cart begins chanting. A blast rings out, the man collapses, and his rifle hits the dirt. A monster strikes the gong, and the creatures awaken. Tactics shift. They shield the mage and fire crossbows through the gaps to counterattack. Taiga drops his blade, but the girl knows killing the sorcerer sends the rest running. She distracts the enemy while he recovers his gear, and the two officially team up. She heads across the cliff toward him, promising a signal as he follows her lead. This was real magic, and he had no way to fight back. The attacks looked like a video game until he spotted the wizard's staff. Spheres appear overhead. The girl screams. They are explosive stars run. A massive blast levels everything. MC coughs. She asks if he's okay, but he's fine. She's the one who nearly fell off the cliff. This mage is pure trouble, even wielding forbidden magic. And now he wants her to crush the enemy, will to fight. She asks for his take, but he needs to check something while the monsters hold the line. He shows her a jar of balls. She thinks they're funny candies, and despite being totally clueless, she agreed. They scatter, dodging bullets. Taiga moves out, trusting her to draw fire. She's ready, even wall running to keep him distracted. She rushes in, calling them pathetic cowards who only know how to defend. The mage strikes, she dodges, and screams that as long as they stay still, she's invincible. This lizard was pure nightmare fuel. Finding a monster like this here was unthinkable. Trapped in a dark room with it, that's a fate worse than death. He'll show magic and the lizard the power of another world. Using military tactics, he mixes sugar and nitric acid to trigger a massive blast. Wait, the prompt says. Nitric acid is the key. We're low on supply, but mix it right and we've got the goods. He yells for cover and hurls a fire pot at the shelter, sending the panicked crowd scattering. Hanging from the ceiling, the girl shouts in excitement and lunges at the mage as her lizard gapes, ready to strike. She misses. The mage leaps aside and instantly starts a new spell while she braces for the blow. She dodges the beam, counters instantly, and obliterates the enemy. The witch's gaze dims and the monsters bolt. MC walks up, introduces himself, and thanks her for the save. She laughs it off and winks at the boy, while the lizard eyes the man. She wants to clear the ravine nest together, but he needs to check his kingdom first. He invited her over to say thanks, but she just laughed it off. Suddenly, the lizard spots something. The man and girl lean in, terrified by what they see. A spiked giant blocks their path, leading a monster army armed to the teeth. A giant ogre champion looms over them, locking eyes. Asteria wonders how the MC made such a deadly enemy. He was too naive. They were total opposites, unlike the trans and manticores. He'd return to the kingdom and reveal the truth if she let him. She agrees to join, ready to face the danger. He starts explaining the kingdom, but she cuts him off, save the stories for the road.